Hi, it's Tony Marino, host of the super popular Newsmax Daily Podcast, a rundown of the day's top headlines and top highlights of Newsmax shows and interviews you may have missed, plus some sports, stock markets, and even some yucks, all packed into about 20 minutes. Search for the Newsmax Daily with me, Tony Marino, on your favorite podcast platform, and check out our entire lineup of great podcasts, including Greg Kelly, Rob Carson, and Jerry Callahan at newsmax.com/listen.
Now.
You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
And by the grace of God, it is finally Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on radio stations across the country, and our stream is strong, unlike Joe Biden's in the middle of the night. Yes, it is streaming long and hard. I mean, well, you know, on Newsmax Rumble, Newsmax Facebook, Newsmax YouTube, Newsmax Instagram, Newsmax X. Oh my gosh, reaching millions of people across the country. Welcome to it. Well, and by the way, where is Joe Biden these days? He got more votes than anybody in history. He got 81 million votes, for God's sakes. He was one of the best presidents ever. Nancy Pelosi said he was going to be on Mount Rushmore, for God's sake. Why are we not seeing more of Joe Biden? Why is he not out on the speaking tour after he did such a great job? I don't know. It was so amazing. I just got handed this year because the NFL has decided on Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny as the halftime show for the Super Bowl, which I will not be watching, by the way, because Bad Bunny's going to be there. But because Bad Bunny is going to be the halftime show, they're going to change bye weeks to non-binary weeks in the NFL. Brian, my producer in Baltimore, just said that they're going to go, instead of bye weeks, they're going to go with non-binary weeks. So that's the big news. That's the big news of the day. Here's the other big news of the day. You know, you like those Clint Eastwood movies when he says, "Go ahead and make my day," and all that. And you know, we like those movies where the good guy comes around and really kicks some serious butt. Well, Donald Trump has given Hamas a deadline today with the accent on dead. Listen to this. Hamas has been ruthless and a violent threat in many years in the Middle East. They have killed and made lives miserable, culminating with the October 7th massacre in Israel. Babies, women, children, old people, many young people. As retribution for the October 17th civilization, they've killed more than 25,000 Hamas soldiers. And basically what he's saying is release all the hostages, including the bodies of those who that you murdered. An agreement must be reached by Hamas by Sunday evening at 6 o'clock. Washington time. Every country in the Middle East is signed on. So we've got a real chance of peace in the Middle East. We've got a chance of peace in the Middle East. Yes, this is it. Democrats, you're freaking out because Donald Trump or somebody on his staff put a sombrero on Hakeem Jeffries, like somehow that's racist or something. Peace in the Middle East. And they said that if you do not do this, the last chance, all hell like none other will be released, will break out on Hamas. There will be peace in the Middle East one way or another. Thank you for your attention on the matter, President Donald J. Trump. This is what it's like to have a president who has cojones. He's given Hamas, this is so glorious. Oh, my Lord, this is so glorious. And I mentioned to you, if you've been listening to the show, I said that I believe that we would see Persia, which is Iran, the Persian people walk free again. We've got some refueling ships headed across the ocean, and they're probably already over there right now. The last time they sent those over there, Donald Trump and the Air Force went in and got rid of all those nuclear reactors where they were making nuclear bombs in Iran. And they were saying maybe they might be taking out the Ayatollah. Wouldn't that be something, Ed? Or the Ayatollah, as I like to call him. And then Hamas. And then they're waging a war now on Venezuela. Not an official war on Venezuela, but on the criminal cartels that have caused so much death and destruction. Isn't it nice to have Clint Eastwood as a president? I mean, it's pretty darn cool, isn't it? There's a lot of good things. Oh, we got a message from the president. We got a message from the president right now about the Sombrero-Gate is what they're calling it.
Hola, mi fellow Americanos, y bienvenidos al cierre de Schumer.
Okay, all right.
That means welcome to the Schumer shutdown.
All right, okay.
We call it the Schumer siesta, right? It's the Schumer siesta. He put the government on.
This is Sean Farish. He was first on this show like 5 years ago now, and he's a rock star.
On siesta, crying Chuck. And El Hakimo Jefe Jeffries. We used to call him Dollar Store Obama till we realized he's worth far less than $1. But they put the government on siesta.
Yes.
To give illegal aliens your health care. We're not going to let it happen. I looked at both of them. I said, we're not going to let it happen. It's no bueno.
No bueno.
I said, it's no bueno. They begged me. They said, but senor, por favor, please give illegal aliens the health care. I said, we're not going to do it. We're never going to do it. It's not going to happen. And they're also very upset about our big, beautiful sombreros. You look at them. These are the greatest sombreros the world has ever seen. We really have the best sombreros, and everybody wants one except Crying Chuck and El Hakimo Jefe Jeffries. They don't want one, but they're going to wear one when all is said and done. We're going to end the siesta. We're going to reopen the government.
Yeah, baby.
And we will not give in to the demands of Chuck and El Jefe. We're not going to do that.
El Jefe.
Thank you. God bless you. Dio lo bendiga. And God bless America. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
The great Sean Farish, by the way, who years ago was on this show. I remember I had him on the show right when he was very beginning, he was starting, and he did the interview as Donald Trump. And I said, dude, you can't do the interview as Donald Trump. You've got to do the interview as Sean Farish doing Donald Trump and write some jokes into it. You got to do some jokes. And look what happened. He has blossomed. He has blossomed incredibly. Here's some good news for you. And we can owe this to my mentor, the man who I wrote comedy for many, many years. The comedy is still alive and well on this radio program. I'm talking about Rush Limbaugh. Listen to this. The American people have woken up to the dangerous and hateful fraud that is the legacy media, this according to Breitbart. According to Gallup, which measured trust in mass media for 50 years, the trust has hit a new major low. 28% trust the corporate media. Americans confident in the mass media has edged down to a new low. 28% expressing a great deal or fair amount of trust in the newspapers, television, and radio to report the news accurately, down from 31% last year, 40% 5 years ago when Gallup began measuring trust in media. In the 1970s, between 68 and 72% of Americans expressed confidence in reporting. By 1997, the great, still missed Rush Limbaugh, talent on loan from God, has been broadcasting nationally since the late 80s. I started writing for him in 1989. One part of Limbaugh's genius was explaining and exposing the dominant media's insidious bias. Media trust remained above 50% until it dropped to 44% in 2004, and it has not risen to the majority level since. You know why? Because they've lied about everything. You want to hear some things they've lied about? Trump's tariffs will explode prices. Maryland man hoax. Black newborns much more likely to die if doctors are white hoax. Elon Musk Nazi salute hoax. Violent crime down under Harris and Biden hoax. Kamala was never border czar hoax. Russia collusion hoax. Hands up, don't shoot. Russia, Jussie Smollett. Covington kids, very fine people. Trump trashes troops hoax. Policemen killed at mostly peaceful January the 6th protest. Rittenhouse hoax. Eating while black hoax. Border agents whipping illegals hoax. These are all carried by the national media. That's why they're dead. NASCAR noose hoax. Georgia Jim Crow 2.0 hoax. Trump assaulted Secret Service agents and grabbed the steering wheel of the beast hoax. Yeah, all of it. They did all of this. And this is why nobody trusts them anymore. COVID lab leak theory hoax. Well, it was the lab leak theory, but they covered it up. Hunter Biden laptop is Russian disinformation hoax. Joe Biden will never ban gas stoves hoax. Joe Biden's brain is fine hoax. Trump told people to drink bleach hoax. Hamas hospital bombing hoax. If reelected, Trump will execute people hoax. 900,000 kids with coronavirus hospitalized hoax. Dozens of environmental hoaxes. The Alpha Bank hoax. The Alpha Bank hoax, I should say. Bloodbath hoax. Biden sharpest attacks hoax. And Iowa poll hoax. All of those were hoaxes, and this is why the media is dead. And I want to play this. Jim Gossett put this together.
With talent on loan from God.
I think we need to hear
and
this
have
today.
my brain tied behind my back, to be fair.
Come on.
You were the sunshine of our life. Rush.
Thank you, Rush.
That's why we'll miss you oh so much.
28%.
You know, I'm the mayor of Realville here.
You cut down liberals like a knife.
Come on.
Rush.
El Rushball.
Forever you'll be number one.
He did this.
I am Rush Limbaugh, household name.
America needed a hero.
Yeah,
In
they
all
got
four corners of the world.
And then you came to our rescue.
The Limbaugh Institute for Advanced Conservative Studies.
Competition, you had zero. How could so much talent be inside of you?
And don't doubt it.
You were the sunshine of our life. Rush. That's why we listened every day.
That's it. It's not much more complicated than that.
You helped us get through all the strife. Rush. No one will ever take your place. Because Rush was the sunshine of our life.
Come on.
Of our life. Of our life.
Meeting and surpassing all audience expectations every day behind this, the Golden EIB microphone.
Yeah, baby. I know you guys miss Rush. I miss Rush, and I do everything I can every day to walk in his footsteps. We have got such a good show lined up for you, too. My goodness, we got the usual Friday cast, including Tony Kinnett at the bottom of the hour. We got this battle going on with the shutdown. The Democrats own this. Everybody knows it. Donald Trump going after Antifa. Donald Trump going after Tren de Aragua. Donald Trump cleaning up Memphis. It's a great day. It's a great Friday. And this, my friends, is the Rob Carson Show.
The Democrats shut down and them all leaving town will be a gift to me. I see it as a firing opportunity. Let the layoffs begin. America will win. Just you wait and see. The Democrats just gave me an opportunity. Now I have a chance, along with J.D. Vance, to make us more waste-free. A federal budget cutting opportunity. The budget I'll reduce when thousands are cut loose. Less bureaucracy. I will make this another opportunity. This is a big time opportunity.
Law enforcement isn't to prevent crime. Law enforcement solves crime, not necessarily prevent them from happening.
Buffoon. Jasmine, she is a buffoon. District no longer exists. Out of the Congress real soon. I'll be glad when she's gone from D.C. No Jasmine, it will be pure bliss. I know that this may not sound PC. That mouth on her I will not miss. Buffoon. Jasmine is a total fake. Her ghetto accent's not real. How much more can we take? Buffoon. She was drawn out of her seat. Will be in Congress no longer. Her leaving will be a treat.
Bob Carson Show podcast is everywhere. Go to newsmax.com/listen for details.
Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants.
This is how CNN covered it in 2019. Democrats want to offer free health care to undocumented immigrants. And this is how CNN's covering it today. Fact check. Trump falsely claims Democrats want to give free health care to illegal aliens in government shutdown battle.
People who are in the country illegally cannot get these subsidies that we're talking about.
Sure they can.
No, they can't.
No,
sure
they can't. It's federal law,
Who
Scott,
do you think pays when they go to the emergency room? It's the Medicaid
Scott,
emergency program. They also can't register to vote, but we just found one in Maryland who was running the Des Moines school system.
Oh my God, one!
I mean, I'm telling you, you guys say these things can't happen, and then they happen.
Scott. I got to tell you, the Democrat Party is so screwed, to be quite honest. They are very low approval ratings, down around 19%. It's because they lie about everything. Everybody knows they want health care for illegals. Dear God in heaven, they're the ones who brought illegals over the southern border, 20 million of them the last 4 years, and put them up in freaking hotel rooms everywhere, gave them free everything. Give me a freaking break. Of course they want to give them free health care. We're not stupid. Are you kidding me? And here they go again. They're trying to lie to us. Oh, no, we don't want free. Bull crap. Honestly, this is why you're going to lose this battle on the government shutdown. You own this thing. Nobody trusts you anymore. That's it. White House releases new memo exposing Democrats' demand for $200 billion in taxpayer-funded health care for illegal immigrants. Buried inside their continuing resolution is a demand to repeal President Trump's historic America First health care reforms, the very safeguards to protect U.S. citizens from footing the bill for illegal aliens' medical care. Want me to give you some ideas here? What they want is $91 billion to restore Obamacare funding for non-citizens, $35 billion for reopening California's Medicaid scam, $28 billion for emergency care reimbursements for illegals, $27 billion Obamacare special rule subsidies for non-citizens, $6.2 billion for Medicaid non-citizens, $5.1 billion for Medicare for non-citizens, total $192 billion. Okay, that's it, that's that. But here's CNN. This is why I opened the show. I talked about the media. They have a 28%? Was it as high as 28%? 28% trust the corporate media. Here is CNN yesterday cutting off Mike Johnson mid-sentence, just like Rachel Madcow did in 2020 when they said anything. When Donald Trump tried to talk anybody, they acted like their mom, your mom in 1980s mom at a movie, a rated R movie. Remember that when your mom used to take you to a movie, or your older sister, and she'd make you get up and go to the bathroom or try to cover your eyes when you were watching a movie? It happened to me. When I went to see, what was it? The 48 Hours. Went to see 48 Hours with my older sister. And every time Eddie Murphy would drop an F-bomb, she'd be like, la, 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 like that. Same thing. But this is what the moms at the media did. This is yesterday on CNN.
The Working Families Tax Code included a huge provision. A big chunk of that bill was the health provisions. Now, why are we saying that they want to restore taxpayer-funded benefits to illegal aliens? Because that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
When they rejected the clean CR that we sent over, the Senate Democrats.
All right, we're listening here to Speaker Johnson. He's trying to frame the shutdown as a Democratic shutdown. He also falsely claimed that Democrats want to give extend health care to illegal immigrants. That is not true. Illegal immigrants are not eligible for a federal health care program.
Oh, my God. This is why CNN is so dead. I mean, I was hearing they got a new ratings thing out this week, and they're just flatlining. They are flatlining like Joe Biden's brainwaves, just honestly, because of all of these people. They don't realize, I guess, there are other choices out there, do they? Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. Liz Warren, Americans' school marm, the woman whose voice you hear and you want to stab your eardrums out with the nearest sharp object. Could be a screwdriver, could be knitting needles. Here she is. She's mad because, the fact that the Democrats want health care for illegals is coming out.
Look, Senator, we're fighting for people's health care. That's what this is all about.
No.
So, Senator, Republicans say what you're really fighting for is tax.
I'm trying to stick a pin in my ear. My left hand is doing it. I'm trying to stop it.
Taxpayer dollars for, as they put it, illegal aliens. I know that's not strictly true, but there is a provision.
Excuse me. Not strictly true.
It's not true directly, but
out lie. It is a flat out lie.
The way that they frame it.
There is nothing in Medicaid. There is nothing in Medicare that permits one undocumented immigrant to get $1 of assistance.
Oh, the voice. I'm going to go get me a beer. Josh Hawley says otherwise.
It's in the Senate Democrats' own bill that they've already voted for twice this week, Sean. They're going to vote for it again tomorrow. Here's what it does. It says all of the rules prohibiting Medicaid and other funding from going to illegals that Donald Trump just signed into law earlier this year will be repealed. So that means that the illegals can get right back on the state Medicaid rolls, right back on the state health care rolls. They know it. They want it. This is what Democrats want to spend money on. And get this, they would rather deny pay to our military servicemen and women. They would rather deny health care to our veterans than deny health care to illegals. They want to give money to illegals so bad, they will shut down the entire government to do it.
And this is why they've crossed the line from suck to super suck. The Democrat Party super sucks. Here's Donald Trump.
It's politics, and they're doing things and asking for things that you wouldn't want, and most people that are sane wouldn't want, and patriots wouldn't want. They want illegal aliens to get taken care of with health care. And it's not, look, I have a bigger heart than they do, but
they want to pay for free transgender surgeries for people coming across the southern border. That's how nuts they are.
It's not even that. Everybody in the world is
nuts. That was a little insensitive. I'm sorry about that for you transgendered men out there.
Going to enter our country and say, give us free health care, give us this, give us that. It's going to ruin all of the things that we have, all of the plans that we have. Obamacare was never any good.
No.
But it subsists. It's there.
That was going to fix everything.
And everything will be destroyed because no country has enough money to take care of that.
No.
So they want the illegals. They refuse to get away with open borders. They want to do open borders.
They did that,
If they ever got in, they'll open up the borders. We have closed borders now. You only come into our country legally. But they would open up the borders in 2 minutes, and you understand it better than anybody because you've covered it so well.
They didn't say a damn thing about 300,000 kids being trafficked across the southern border for sex and labor.
Well, for so long, even though you're a young
all the underage women who were sold into sex slavery.
You've covered it very well. They want transgender.
Hundreds of thousands of fentanyl deaths. They're not a damn thing.
For everybody, they want men and women's sports. They haven't learned what happened in the last election. I think they forgot.
Nope.
And it's pretty amazing, actually. But in terms of the dollars or the money that we're talking about, they want us to take care of illegals. They want us to take care of people that can absolutely get a job. They're healthy and strong as you can be and young. And this is not what this was all about.
No, not one little bit. And that's why the Democrat Party and the leftist media are both DOA right now. They have no chance of getting back any ground whatsoever. Tony Kinnett from the Daily Signal joins us next. We're going to talk a little bit about Netflix. They had some grooming shows on for your kids. Tony has young kids. I'm sure he has some things to say about this. Also, an extraordinary act of faith by the Mormon Church after a church attack in Michigan that will leave you breathless. I'm serious. It is amazing. That's coming up, and this is the Rob Carson Show. Right back.
Street protesters, we've had our fill, but Randy Fine has a bill, says move them on over, run them all over, run over protesters blocking all our roads. The Thump Thump bill is what it's called. I'm sure the left will be appalled, but move them on over. Run them all over. Step on the gas if they won't step aside. Sure, it might leave a dent, but make them a hood ornament. Run them all over. Thump them all over. If they block our streets, they'll get what they deserve.
In libs' heads I'm living. The fits I am giving to Whoopi, Sonny, and Joy. Rent-free, I'm occupying. Rosie is lying if she says I'm not in her head. Break free, they simply can't do it. When you get down to it, they have TDS real bad. Hatred, just watch it as it spreads. Because inside their heads I live.
Today, when Trump, Meloni talk, they are called a threat to democracy. This is the left's double standard.
Italy elected Giorgia Meloni. A real conservative, no, she isn't a phony. Paper ballots, voter ID. No cheat by mail in Italy. If we ran elections like Italians do, a same-day vote, the count is true, we'd be solid red without a trace of blue. Things will change under Giorgia Meloni. Unlike Mitch, she's not full of baloney. She ran on God and family, making her country legal free. Italy's moving to the right. Georgia's not afraid to fight. Italian people, they have seen the light.
In Harper County.
Hey, Tony's ready.
I figured. Here we go.
They say, you know, we got him. We're going to get Trump and we'll get the Republicans because we're going to stand firm. Meanwhile, in what has been, I think, a 2 or 3 month planning process, you have Speaker Johnson, with Trump's help, passing a totally clean continuing resolution. No policy fights, nothing. Totally clean. Then you have John Thune, Majority Leader in the Senate, pick up a totally clean thing, and they can't help themselves. They go, I got to run and jump off the cliff anyway. I don't care what it is. Now, I did notice, as the votes have continued, 3 Democrats are now siding with the Republicans.
Right.
I think another 2 or 3 days of this, they may actually get up to 8, at which point it'll be over. But it is really one of the dumbest moments in party history, certainly in the last 30 or 40 years.
I know, it's amazing. The dumbest thing we've seen in a very long time. The Democrat Party still think it holds sway. They still think that they have command of the media. They do, but the media is now dead. 28% of Americans think the media is trustworthy. And here's Hakeem Jeffries, all butthurt because somebody put a virtual sombrero on him, and then they're lying about giving health care to illegals. It is a remarkable day in history and a remarkable year. A remarkable person is Tony Kinnett from the Daily Signal. He does a radio show on WIBC in the middle of America in Indianapolis. He joins us on the Newsmax hotline. How you doing, brother?
I'm just stellar. What a time to be alive.
I swear. Did you see that Donald Trump has given Hamas the ultimatum? He said by Sunday night at 6 o'clock, you better go agree to the 21 points that we came up with, or we're going to wipe you off the face of the planet. That's some Clint Eastwood kind of stuff there.
Now, the last time that he did that, Iran's nuclear facilities were still standing.
Yes.
They no longer are. So best of luck to Hamas. I'm wishing them a very ham sandwich this fine Friday.
Very nice, or a BLT would be good without the L and the T. Without the L and the T. Well, you know they sent some of these tankers across the ocean again toward Britain earlier in the week, and that was what they did before they bombed the nuclear reactors. So I think Hamas is going to get a little rectal exam.
I mean, it's either going to be them or the Democrat Party at this rate. What a magical time.
I swear to God. And then they think they're winning. Did you hear? I want to play. This is Hakeem Jeffries. Hakeem Jeffries is convinced that Donald Trump is going to cave on this budget thing. Listen.
To you.
Public sentiment. At the end of the day, the public knows that Donald Trump and Republicans have shut the federal government down and that they're continuing to engage in the chaos and the cruelty and the corruption that we've seen from this administration from day one.
Now, the only chaos that we've seen is the Democrat Party doing things like burning Tesla dealerships and throwing temper tantrums every week. I really do believe they can't be this tone deaf, right? Can they be this tone deaf?
Well, I don't. Part of it is tone deafness. I mean, again, the whole hilarious thing in the world is having Schumer and Hakeem strut out and do 6 interviews apiece on the first day of the shutdown, and then those lies that they had pushed about illegal immigrant health care immediately got overruled. Trump, of course, slapped up a picture of a sombrero with Hakeem that ruined the man's life.
Yes.
And now Hakeem, Jeffries, and Schumer are essentially in hiding.
Oh.
They went from 6 interviews a day to like 0. So it's kind of tone deaf, but it's also running for the hills.
Well, and then also you've got AOC basically saying, if you want a deal, come to me. Just skip right around Schumer. And Schumer, both of them are toast. Did you hear yesterday? I don't know if you saw this. Yesterday, Hakeem Jeffries decided to do a webcast. He'd do a little podcast, I guess. There were 38 people watching nationwide. 38 people.
Again, it's just sad, but I mean, the live stream that the Democrats ran itself at the actual shutdown had less than 4,000 people who tuned in around the country. I think the Heritage Foundation posted a video of a sombrero that got like 50, 60, 70,000 views. So far more than Hakeem. I mean, it's just a wonderful time to be alive, of course, but you have actual Democrats now who are fighting with each other on national TV.
Yes.
Because neither Klobuchar nor the young representative from Maine, the Democrat representative, who was always breaking with the rest of the party, they all disagree, and there's no leadership message.
Yeah.
So the party is disintegrating a year away from midterms.
Yes, and they're convinced. What was it? Eric Swallowswell the other day. He's convinced they're going to go after people when they take the midterms. I'm like, what are they doing other than being the party out of power at midterms that would even portend such a victory for Democrats? Because they haven't learned a damn thing from the butt kicking they got in 2024.
Well, that's the exact point that was made by Fetterman and by, remembering the name of the Maine representative now, Representative Golden. And when CNN pitched Golden's statements to Senator Ruben Gallego from Arizona, he had to stop himself from saying BS on national television because it gave him hives. None of this involves Republicans. That's the most hilarious part. Mike Johnson being attacked by menopausal Democrat women representatives in the House. You know, I'm on the Foreign Commerce Committee, and Europe is laughing at us over the sombrero meme.
Oh.
Johnson, you can tell the Louisiana boy just wants to say, "Oh, honey," and pat her on the head.
I swear to God. And, suddenly, years ago, for some reason, around Cinco de Mayo, it suddenly became racist for white people to wear sombreros, even though it's celebrating Mexican culture. And if you go to Mexico, like I went to Mexico twice last year, if you go to Mexico and you're in a Mexican restaurant and somebody says it's your birthday, you're going to get a mariachi band, and they're going to take a picture with a sombrero on your head, whether you like it or not.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Again, if your entire political party can be reduced to ashes, humiliated ashes, because of a PNG, a transparent image of a hat, you aren't a real political party.
I know. It is remarkable. I want to mention this, and I knew that there would be some things that if I just lit the fuse, I could just step back and watch you just go nuts. So I'm going to go ahead and mention Netflix. And here is one of their shows. It's called Cocomelion Lane. Two gay dads dancing around with a song as their son becomes transgendered. Here it is right here.
We know about you. You love to get up and dance.
There you go.
How about you break out those moves?
Yeah, go to that dressing room and come out with a skirt on. There you go. So, Tony, you got two young kids. What do you think about that? What do you think about Netflix and their transgendered cartoons they've been running?
So,
yes.
First, we canceled our Netflix subscription when they made the child drag show Cuties series.
Oh, dear God.
Years ago.
Yes.
And also, just on an objective free market level, Netflix is known for being the platform that never has the show or movie you want to watch.
Yes.
So you shouldn't be wasting money on that anyway. But of course, look, we told you years ago that the transgender community, the LGBTQ whatever group, was targeting children. And it always has. It always will. They cannot reproduce, so they recruit.
Oh.
And so when we look at these shows and this filth, this garbage, and there's a lot of shows that we actually talked about last night on our show, which is family friendly.
Yes.
We covered a lot of this garbage and this filth. People wonder why the backlash against the left-wing production in movies, in film, in entertainment in general has become so acidic. This is why. There is something in every normal person's heart that turns to smoldering fire when they see sexual content that targets a child. It's gross, it's vile, and I'm going to be honest with you. I honestly think that some producers need their hard drives checked now.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Now, Tony, we got to take a break here and come back. Tony Kinnett, ladies and gentlemen, Daily Signal, also has a great show on WIBC Indianapolis. Let's take a break and come back. This is The Rob Carson Show. Here we go.
It's not the park. It's me. I'm trans, Norma. And everyone at school knows, and everyone at home knows. And being here, it's like a whole new place.
Yeah, that is Netflix, by the way. Cartoon talking about one of the characters being trans, which means mentally ill. It means some kid who's been convinced that maybe, I don't know, because of the government COVID shutdowns and isolation, they take advantage of children and convince them they can become the other sex because they can't find happiness in other way, shape, or form. And then they go through all this hormonal surgery and puberty blockers and all that. And then on the other side of that, realize that none of it worked, so they're suicidal again. It is really, really quite evil. We got Tony Kinnett from the Daily Signal, also does a radio show, WIBC in Indianapolis, and you've canceled your Netflix years ago. This is just the latest, and they are really nosediving on the stock. They have worse than Bud Light on Netflix. I think this could cook Netflix goose. What do you think, bro?
I mean, it absolutely should. There's no reason whatsoever that any individual in the United States, or really just abroad in general, any functioning adult, should take that kind of filth and honor it with their money. But again, I think that as a society, we really need to reach a position where there are some things that are appropriate in terms of free speech. And I'm sorry, if you're targeting children with sexual content, that shouldn't be legal.
It's over.
I'm sorry, that's not a free speech argument to me. You're targeting children with sexual content. You should be arrested. I don't care. Oh, but that's free speech. Shut up, children. You don't have the free speech to sexualize a child.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, and you know what? There are limits to free speech, and we've seen the Democrats cross them so badly that when you see Democrats, they've been calling Donald Trump and us fascists and Nazis forever. It's actually ended up showing up on shell casings of mass shooters and also in their manifestos. And yet the Democrat Party, they'll give it about a couple days off before they start using it again. Kind of like what they used to do with school shootings, calling for gun control. Now they do it while the bodies are still warm or the shooter is still alive. And now they're actually immediately calling ICE, Nazis and fascists again after the Dallas shootings. We have the Charlie Kirk shooting, fascist written on the shell casings. That isn't protected speech, bro. And I got to tell you, we got to start taking people out of Congress and certainly out of leadership positions in government when they use the kind of language that shows up on shell casings. That's not protected.
So, funnily enough, this is what I actually used to warn Democrats and moderate, kind of rhino-esque Republicans about. Yes. I said, guys, you're going to keep pushing and pushing, and if you're the moderate Republicans, you're just going to let the country continue to spiral into the abyss until at some point people decide to push back.
Yes.
And they're not going to push back in all right, the board votes 3-2 to lower taxes. No, it's going to be, okay, we're going to send the National Guard and we're going to fix your city for you.
Yes.
And I'm just going to make the case that Trump talked about this a couple of days ago. He got flack for this interview saying that the right will eventually push back, and he doesn't want to see that happen. Believe it or not, Trump's the moderate here.
Oh, yes.
I know people don't really believe it. Yeah. Do you think that the Republican Party is at its let's tussle moment right now? Wait until J.D. Vance is the president.
Ooh.
And by the way, please, tomorrow, I'm here for it.
No, I'm going to tell you. Here's what I said, Tony, and I believe this from the depths of my soul. There is a worldwide movement toward freedom and God, and I'm not talking about radical Islamic God. I'm talking about God, and Charlie Kirk's assassination put that into light speed, and some amazing things are happening. I want to share this story, and I'm sure you've already seen it because you're plugged in every way, shape, and form. Tony Kinnett, Mormon church members raised $300,000 for the accused Grand Blanc, Michigan shooter's family. David Butler, member of the Mormon Church. We know about this shooting spree and the church burning that happened at the LDS church last weekend. And this guy said the shooter, Thomas Jacob Sanford, leaves behind a wife and children that must be grieving. One of the kids has special needs. And this man started to give sin go so that family would be taken care of because it was not their doing. And they've raised $300,000. And I got to tell you, that was as big to me almost as big as Erica Kirk's forgiving the shooter. I just thought it was an amazing moment that somebody would step forward for the family who had nothing to do with this to help them out because they're grieving. They never expected this from their father or husband. Go ahead.
As someone who is not a Mormon, I have all of the theological disagreements in the world with the Mormon community.
Me too.
And I don't say that to say, but no one should experience political violence. No, this isn't that kind of argument.
No.
There is none who are kinder, who are more hardworking, who are willing to give self-sacrificially than the Mormon community. None. I've never seen anything like it. The kind of self-sacrifice to donate to that family speaks so highly of the LDS Church. And again, I will say that if you live in a neighborhood that has Mormons also living in that neighborhood, it will be a nicer place, it will be a safer place, and there is nowhere else soup will appear on your doorstep quicker when you or your family is sick. That's the Mormon Church.
The only negative is the Osmond family music blasting out of the windows at all times of the day. That's the worst part about it. You got one bad apple and you got Donnie and Ruby. It's a little annoying. Other than that.
You balance it out with the Tabernacle Choir, and it's 50-50.
All right, bro. It's great to have you on. Where can people find all of your glorious work, your podcasts, etc., Tony Kinnett?
You can follow me on X at The Tonist if you're a sadist. Other than that, youtube.com/Daily Signal. We're there every evening. The show's blowing up.
All right, brother. God bless you and yours, and we'll talk again soon. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Oh, yes, I'm a little bit country. I'm a little bit rock and roll. I was a little kid when Donnie Murray was playing, and Donnie was so edgy when he was doing the rock and roll. I'm going to sound all Gen X now. What did remember what the Osmonds started out with on their show? Do you guys remember on Rumble? I see you talking. Monique and Dookie Bear. Do you remember what that show started with? Ice skating. It started with ice skating. Yeah, I know you millennials and Gen Zers are like, what the hell? Yeah, well, we only had 3 channels, okay? We only had 3 channels. We didn't have Netflix with, pedophiles and stuff like that. Thank God. We grew up almost normal. Anyway, let's see who's watching on the old social media. Obviously, we got T. Willis here. T. Willis, it's 48 degrees where you are? Oh, my God. It is not that here. It was like 68 when I went in this morning. It's refusing to cool down. I did pack a jean jacket for the trip to Rehoboth this weekend. I'll go to the beach this weekend. It'll be freezing cold. I'm going up to Rehoboth in Delaware. Maybe stop by Joe Biden's house, do a little ding-dong dash. And, of course, it's no fun when you ding-dong dash Joe Biden's house because you ring the doorbell and you can wait for a half an hour. And finally, you hear one step walking closer and closer and then eventually answers the door. And by that time, you're already done. I mean, you've been there an hour. So it's not even fun anymore. So we got a lot of people watching on the old, on the Twitter, on the YouTube, Mark Wojo. Mark Wojo. Yeah, Mark Wojo. What's up, man? Good to see you. Cora Amy, good to see you there as well. Got a lot of people watching. Brian Wonderly watching on the YouTube. And isn't Tony Kinnett great, by the way? Got a little serious today, but you know what? Sometimes you got to cover the serious stuff. I wanted to talk to him because he's got young kids. He's a pretty amazing dude. What do we got next here? Hold on, I got to look over and see what I'm talking about next here. Otherwise, I won't have anything to talk about. And Lord knows that never happens, by the way. Here we go. Let's do this. Schumer, no. Oh, a special rejoin from Brian. Okay, here we go.
You just watch your step, McGurk. Take it from me. This place here changes a man.
Oh, yeah? In what way?
I used to be white. I was a drummer for the Osmonds. Screw with me. He'll make you feel pain like you never felt before.
I know. I remember the Osmonds.
Yes. There you go. I met Donnie. He's a pretty cool guy, actually. Come on! That is Godsmack. 1,000 Horsepower is the name of that song. That's one of my go-tos when I'm at the gym. Went to the gym last night feeling strong. Do you hear about this? Forget youthful brilliance. The human mind actually peaks at, are you ready for this? Age 60. Age 60 is what they're saying here. I got some of that brain supplement that Joe Rogan talks about the other day. I've been taking some of that because I want to be sharp as a tack. Middle age has a dreadful reputation. Knees creak, waistlines thicken, careers stall. You get divorced from your wife. Yeah, move to Washington, D.C. Anyway, yet a new study offers consolation, however frazzled and arthritic you may feel. I don't feel that way. I feel strong as hell, man. I'm doing dumbbell curls of 55 pounds, for God's sake. Anyway, they draws on decades of psychological research. Research indicates a pattern that the overall functioning of the human brain reaches its zenith between 55 and 60. Yeah, you know what? And I could feel it. I know this sounds funny. The last 5 years, we got through the 4 years of persecution of Donald Trump and going after us and all of that, and then the election year, and there's a clarity that came to me, and I don't know if it was part of my brain aging or obviously life experience or whatnot, but I do believe this. Rush used to say that he looked forward to aging. When he started when he was 37 nationally, and they say that moral reasoning, the ability to weigh competing principles, deepens with experience, producing sounder judgments about fairness and duty. Unlike Zoran Mundummy, financial literacy peaks in its late 60s, perhaps reflecting a lifetime of dealing with bills. People also get better at avoiding the sunk cost fallacy, the human tendency to throw good money after bad. Well, I won't say that because I just ordered a Led Zeppelin print for my loft. Would have never been able to do that when I'm married. However, in the round, my apartment's going to be so cool. The study concludes that at middle age, the gains more often offset the losses. The late 50s emerges as the sweet spot. Hello, the point when hard-won wisdom compensates for dwindling speed. There you go. So you need to know that. You guys in your 30s think you're all cocky and everything. Well, you young whippersnappers aren't so smart after all, are you? There you go. Donald Trump is 79. And I hope to be as sharp as that guy is at 79 years old. For those who want to know, Charles Darwin came up with the origin of the species at 50. Immanuel Kant wrote the Critique of Pure Reason at age 57. There you go. Thought you should. And Paula Deen, had a TV show. I don't know. Anyway. That's what they say. I'm in the sweet spot right now, ladies and gentlemen. It's only going to get better. Let's take a break and come back. Hour number 2 of the Rob Carson Show on this Friday is coming up next. You don't want to go anywhere.
right now.
You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
And by the grace of God, it is finally Friday. Welcome to the show. Please come inside. We've got hour number 2 right ahead of here. Mary Walter joins us at the bottom of the hour. I'm sure she will have. I've got a stack of stories that I'm going to share with Mary at the bottom of the hour. I think she's going to enjoy. I'll tee her up is what I'm going to do, including the Pope. I'm not terribly impressed with old Pope Leo. I'm a little disappointed, and I had a real problem with Francis. Francis was socialist, and now Leo honoring Dick Durbin, who not only is rabid pro-choicer, but also just a really filthy, awful human being who betrayed our troops when they were overseas. Just an awful person, really, really awful person. And Leo, I don't know, man. You're on thin ice with the Catholic Church. I mean, I just went for the first time a couple weeks ago for the first time in 4 years. Don't be doing this, Leo, because I will find another church. You're going to be playing this. Anyway, we've got a bunch of things we want to get to on the show, including Donald Trump declaring war on the cartels and whatnot. And then, of course, we got this deadline Sunday Donald Trump has given to Hamas saying, you better agree to the deal we're working up here. And it sounds like we're knocking on peace's door in the Middle East, which would be absolutely remarkable, would be absolutely amazing if that actually happened. Government shutdown is still going on. And this is Newt Gingrich last night. I remember when Newt Gingrich was the Speaker of the House, I was writing for Rush Limbaugh, Talent on Loan from God. I was just reminiscing as I was walking around the building here. I was in my 20s when I started writing for Rush, and when Gingrich was Speaker, I was still in my 20s. And I would send Rush a bit, and I would send it to Johnny Donovan and send him the work parts and my voice parts and then the music and all of that. And then, we FedEx it, reel-to-reel with my voice parts and whatnot. FedEx it, right? This is back in the early 90s. And then send the script and the whole deal. He put it together, and I would wait. One of the biggest thrills of my life was knowing or waiting to see if he was going to start his show with a piece of my comedy. And he would frequently, when I'd send him a bit, he would open the show with it, and it was just like everything in my life just stopped. I'd be in the car, and I'd just stop waiting for Rush to play that bit. And when he did, and then Johnny'd call me and go, "All right, play it, Robbie, play it." I said, "I heard it, Johnny, I heard it, man." And it was a really big deal. But I was writing for Rush pretty hot and heavy when Newt Gingrich was the Speaker of the House. And Newt Gingrich was the response to Bill Clinton. Now, Bill Clinton lost both houses of Congress for the Democrats for the first time in 40 years. For you guys who are maybe millennials or Gen Z, I'll just give you a little history here. Democrats had control of both houses of Congress for 40 years. And along came Bill Clinton and his wife Hillary, and Hillary wanted to socialize medicine. And she started acting like she was elected to do something, and he ended up losing both houses of Congress because of that. So he had to come back to the middle, and Newt Gingrich was there. Newt Gingrich basically came up with his contract for America, which balanced the budget. I ended up getting a check. I remember getting a check. It was like 1995. I got a government check, and I was employed. But there was a surplus because we had balanced the budget, and we got $600. By the way, Donald Trump's talking about sending everybody $2,000. I'll get to that in a second. But anyway, Newt Gingrich was the Speaker of the House back then, and it was a pretty interesting time. That was when the parties could work together, I guess, to some degree. The Democrats didn't go completely off the deep end until a little bit later on, and now they're, honestly, just completely lost. And as I'd referred to earlier with Tony Kinnett, there is really no saving the Democrat Party at this point. All you can do as a Democrat right now is wait for it to die and then pick up the pieces, leave it, or insist that it change. The Democrat Party right now, the crazies who are in charge, they think they have some sort of sway. And the party may lurch left, but it's not going to be in power as long as it continues to do that. So, as I mentioned, it's either going to have to reinvent itself or disappear into the dustbin of history. Right now, they're disappearing into the dustbin of history. This is Newt Gingrich talking about a shutdown, which he endured, actually, when he was Speaker of the House. And who owns this one?
Country doesn't want to give billions to illegal immigrants. Country doesn't want to give billions to guys who won't go to work. Country doesn't want to give billions to people who are, in fact, crooks. So the Democrats are jumping up and saying, if I yell health care, you'll be too stupid to know what I'm doing.
Right.
And if I decide I'm going to stop the government, you won't figure out I did it. This is literally, I think you have to start with the idea, this is the Schumer shutdown.
Yeah.
That's what this is about. Yeah. And they're not going to get away from it.
You've got a lot of things coming together, and you may recall me saying that we've been through 30 plus years of conservative apartheid in our country. And Rush Limbaugh endured this. He couldn't get sponsors, or people would boycott his sponsors. He couldn't buy an NFL team because they ganged up on him and threatened the Rams and called him a racist and all of this stuff. And that's the way it's been, but that is starting to fall finally. We just saw this new poll that shows 28% of people have faith, or some faith, in the major media, ABC, CBS, NBC, PBS, NPR. So they're on their death knells right now. They're in the middle of it right now. And this is positive because when it comes to things like the shutdown, they used to just be able to say that it belongs to the Republicans, and nobody believes it. New York Times the other day did a poll. 65% of New York Times readers say that it's a Democrat shutdown. So it's not going to work very well. And so what are they doing? They're focusing on a meme. Is it a meme? I do memes all the time. Is it a GIF? What the hell is it? It's a video. It's a video that somebody on Donald Trump's staff put together with Hakeem Jeffries wearing a sombrero because, see, 20 million people came across the southern border, and the southern border is on Mexico, you see. And Hakeem Jeffries is down, and the Democrats are down with giving free health care to illegals. So they put a sombrero on Hakeem Jeffries because it's comedy, you see. And the left is still trying this bullcrap, like wearing a sombrero if you're not Mexican is racist. That came out a few years ago. You couldn't wear a sombrero anymore. You couldn't celebrate Cinco de Mayo and wear a sombrero. And it was completely idiotic. It was just absolutely stupid. It's like if you told Mexican guys, hey, you can't wear cowboy hats, man. You got to just wear authentic Mexican garb. You can only wear those ponchos with the lines across it, and you can only wear a sombrero. That's it, right? That doesn't make any sense. It's just stupid. Because you're not making fun of Mexican culture. You're celebrating Mexican culture when you wear a sombrero. It's kind of cool. But anyway, here is Natasha Alford on MSNBC, and not right now, or CNN. She just sounds tired, old, dated, and people are done with this.
But the flip side of that is that the racism, the sort of privilege that comes with mocking
the privilege and racism and all that. Nobody believes this crap anymore.
Entire group of people, right? Putting a sombrero on somebody.
Yeah, so what? Who cares?
Which traditionally has sometimes been used as a stereotype for Latinos.
Latino, she even said it. She's not even Latino, and she just said Latino.
If you do that,
that is worse racism than anything. If you're she's an African-American woman, by the way, and out of nowhere, she just says Latino. I'd say that's pretty racist, actually.
So reveals the privilege that you are sort of sitting in as you do that, as you have someone like a J.D. Vance.
Yeah, this is why you have 28%. And CNN is even worse. Fewer people trust CNN. Here's John Berman and Caitlin Collins, and they can't believe that J.D. Vance and Donald Trump didn't immediately take down that video because some people were supposedly offended. And honestly, we're over that crap now.
So we played sound from Vice President Vance, not just defending that AI racist video of Minority Leader Jeffries wearing a sombrero, but also like celebrating that video. And it was playing on a loop in the briefing room today. What are you hearing from the inside about that?
I love this.
It was not only just playing on a loop in the briefing room. If you've never been in the press briefing room, for those who haven't, there are loudspeakers overhead so you can hear announcements.
I am not hearing a Mexican panelist here discussing whether it's racist or not. Do you guys hear any Mexican panelists here in this discussion about the sombrero being racist?
Or what's being said, or if there's an event going on with the president in the Rose Garden, for example, they were playing that mariachi music as well over the loudspeaker.
Well, you got Juan Alvarado from Mexico City on the phone. Just do a live shot. Just do a live shot with Juan and just see if he thinks it's racist. I don't think he will.
For all the press that was coming in and out of the White House today inside the press briefing room. It just kind of gives you a window, John, into how they're dealing with this and how they believe they have the upper hand when it comes to the...
Yeah, they do have the upper hand because, honestly, we're done with all this nonsense. We're done with this censorship. We're done with this everybody being butthurt about everything. I've been talking about this forever. We live in the greatest country in the world because of the First Amendment backed up by the Second Amendment. And if you are offended, you should be grateful that you can be offended. You should be grateful. You should be able to grateful. You could say things that are offensive. You know what the Democrats, did to our speech? Remember? They called our speech offensive. Then they said our words are weapons. Then they said our words are disinformation and misinformation. Then they shut us down. You see how that goes? So this is a rejection. This wearing the sombrero. We're done. Screw you. I might wear a sombrero to the gym, for God's sake. I just might wear a sombrero everywhere I go. I'm going to replace a ball cap with a sombrero. Because people are done with this crap. We're done with it. It is such a glorious day. Like I said, conservative apartheid is falling. And the censorship industrial complex is falling. And the trust in the liberal media is dead. And you can thank Rush Limbaugh for starting that and getting the ball rolling. Just like the Berlin Wall fell after Ronald Reagan left office, just after the Berlin Wall fell, after Margaret Thatcher left office and Lech Walesa left office. All of this is happening because Rush Limbaugh. And unfortunately, he left the planet. Let's take a break and come back. This is The Rob Carson Show.
Well, he's a turncoat, he's a traitor, a sour grapes Trump hater. He had the goods on Joe Biden, the evidence stayed in hiding. He's the left-wing media's overweight star. Ooh, I hate Bill Barr. Can't stand Bill Barr. I am not sold. The truth about Jeffrey Epstein and Bill Barr has not been told. It was bizarre. Did it go too far? Oh, I hate Bill Barr.
With talent on loan from God. And have my brain tied behind my back, to be fair.
You were the sunshine of our life, Rush. That's why we'll miss you oh so much.
You know, I'm the mayor of Realville here.
You cut down liberals like a knife, Rush.
El Rushball.
Forever you'll be number one.
I am Rush Limbaugh, household name.
America needed a hero
in all four corners of the world.
And then you came to our rescue.
The Limbaugh Institute for Advanced Conservative Studies.
Competition, you had zero. How could so much talent be inside of you?
And don't doubt it.
You were the sunshine of our life, Rush. That's why we listened every day.
That's it. It's not much more complicated than that.
You helped us get through all the strife, Rush. No one will ever take your
place. Because Rush was the sunshine of our life, of our life.
Meeting and surpassing all audience expectations every day behind this, the Golden EIB microphone. Rejoin.
Fasten your seatbelt, Deep State. It's gonna be a bumpy ride. It's the Rob Carson Show.
There's a digital billboard that said, Memphis, we welcome the National Guard. How does that make you guys feel?
You know, that doesn't surprise me at all. I do believe that the guards coming here is really necessary. Because this city really needs cleaning up.
Wow.
You know, it's just so dangerous that you can't get out of your car, you can't go to the grocery store.
The idea that there is a square inch of clock in this city where a citizen doesn't feel safe is unacceptable. This is Memphis, this is the United States of America, and all that bullshit is done. It's over, it's finished.
We don't want them here. We do not need them here.
You can run, but you can't hide. We're coming after you. We're going to find you. Get ready. You're going to prison.
And now they're looking at what happened in Washington and saying, we want that security. We want that safety here in Memphis. It's a proud city. These are proud people that love that city. So they're welcoming the National Guard, and it is the Tennessee National Guard. It's their fellow members of their state securing that city. They have welcomed us, and we're glad to be here for them.
Look around and show what he's saying. He's hoping that this action by Trump will help make the city safer.
Over our dead bodies are we live that way anymore. It's not happening. I see the guns in the back in this room. You are unleashed. The handcuffs that you're carrying, they're not on you anymore. They're on the criminals. And whatever you need to get it done, we're going to get it done.
There you go. So Memphis is the next city that the federal government is going in to clean up, and it's going to work beautifully. See, I mentioned to you that it would take a very long time for us to recognize the profundity of November the 5th, and look what we're seeing. Conservative apartheid falling, and now the Democrat plantation in America's inner cities. Yeah, that's a perfect analogy, by the way. People in America's inner cities under Democrat rule kept ignorant, kept needy, kept filled with grievance. That's what's worked for them for many years. And now they're damn tired of it. Now they're just sick and damn tired of it. People in America's inner cities are done with the bullcrap, and they are welcoming the National Guard to come in. They've already cleaned up Washington, D.C. I've lived here 3 months. Two weeks in, they sent in the National Guard. It is absolutely stunning. I was in there the other night. I went to this wonderful event, Article 3 Project, safe as can be. No homeless people shooting up, no nonsense, no homeless encampments, no people coming up and threatening you and all that. But just it's a clean city. Unlike Portland, going into Portland next. Here is State Representative Justin Pearson from Tennessee, who, in his last dying throes as a member of a representative, I should say, is still using old tire rhetoric, calling Stephen Miller, the great Stephen Miller, white supremacist.
Particularly cities with black leadership. Stephen Miller is known white nationalist and supports white supremacist ideology.
He doesn't. That's an absolute lie. That is an absolute freaking filthy lie.
And so the fact that our city is going to be targeted, that my constituents and people who I care for
Don't you suppose those guards and those guard towers, as the Berlin Wall came down, they were a little nervous. They're like, "What's going to happen to us?" And the Soviets are like, "Oh, there's nothing happening over there. There's nothing happening over there. Stay right here, because honestly, once that Western influence comes in here, it's going to be terrible, you know." And then the wall came down and the light shone through and freedom happened. And that's what's happening in American inner cities. It is a glorious, glorious thing. And the same thing has happened with Antifa in Portland, been run over. Portland's been controlled by these childish Marxists who are about to get their rear ends handed to them. I love it. I love watching a good Antifa getting beaten. It just puts a smile on my face. One of these punks who act so, self-important and they can be violent and whatnot, and the police can't do anything about it because they've been whipped by the people in power, presumably Karens, like the governor of the state of Oregon, who is a Karen, who is, I call her Grateful Mad Cow. Anyway, here is a little montage of what's going on in Portland.
This lady's trying to get through the streets. We're not letting her through.
Nope. Yeah, we're done with this. We're done with this.
What's your message to these protesters, ma'am?
Get a job.
Get a job.
Get a job.
Yeah.
They're all out here drinking at night. They're all getting drunk. They're all on drugs. All the Antifa members go to his house and have parties. Yep. They get drunk. This is what they do. They pay them to come out. They pay homeless people to get drunk out here. Yeah. So it's an organization.
Turning Point USA, this is what we have to you.
You think Charlie Kirk deserves to die? Yes or no? That's the point. Yes
Honestly,
or no?
he's kind of a fascist, so I would say yes.
What's your message to the right wing?
Them.
They're ruining the whole community. The school got shut down.
Yeah.
Just built. People are afraid to come out of their houses here. I want the beds here. I want the tanks and the.
Yeah.
I'm just sick of it, man.
So you want the feds to come through here and get rid of all these protesters?
Hell yes. Yeah. How are we gonna have my community back?
There you go. And it's happening, by the way. And these guys have been declaring a civil war on the country. Antifa's been declaring a civil war. They have their little fortresses where they retreat and the police can't go and all of this. This is over. This is over. They're going down. They're going down, baby. It's a great day in America. Here's Jim Gossett as the Prezi going into Memphis.
I am sending troops to Memphis, Tennessee.
Gonna clean it up.
'Cause it looks like Memphis could use some help from me.
And it
the
can.
mayor has done nothing to put criminals away. Memphis needs our help, and they need it there today.
Gonna do what they did to Washington, D.C.
The
It's
city's
awesome.
run by Democrats who defunded police.
That was dumb.
They can't do their jobs or maintain the peace.
Dad's home.
I'm sending in the guard. Memphis needs it bad.
Time for a spanking.
Their mayor, Paul Young, that guy's really sad. Voted the most dangerous place in the USA.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't want to live there. Wouldn't want to stay. Sending in the guard. That goal, it was mine. Democrats in Memphis, listen to them whine.
Yeah, they're trying to stand in the schoolhouse doors once again, prevent the light from shining through. It's the exact same modus operandi as Jim Crow. Democrats still doing the same thing. The same thing. It hasn't changed since the Civil War. The Democrat Party has been doing this crap since the Civil War, and they see their doom. I believe this is Coulter Wall. Some of that good new country music. Oh my goodness, it's so good. Mary Walter joins us next. I got a pile of stuff to get to her with. It's going to be entertaining, I guarantee. Don't go anywhere. Or is it Morgan Whalen? Morgan Whalen.
I had no rig the first time.
What?
is a mess. Their mayor must confess. It's a city overrun with thugs. We will hit them hard. I'm sending in the guard. They'll wipe out the crime and all the drugs. Listen up, Antifa. It's become my endeavor. Want you out of Portland forever. Gotta put this to an end. I promise you, Antifa, the National Guard will defeat ya. With their batons they will greet ya. You can bet they're not your friend.
Arrests ICE has made so far. How many have a criminal record versus those who are just in the country illegally?
All of them, because they illegally broke our nation's laws and therefore they are criminals.
She's no KJP, more like Kaylee and Sarah. Her first press briefing was strong. She deals in facts, not liberal propaganda. We have been lied to for so long. And raise your hand. Be polite, or she won't call on you. Meet Caroline, kicking butt and taking names. She's not inclined to let reporters play their games. Sweet Caroline.
You know, Nancy Pelosi became rich by having inside information. She made a fortune with her husband, and I think that's disgraceful.
Donald Trump is saying now that we should take a look at Pelosi's stock trades. Could Nancy be a crook? She had information on each and every trade, a case against her, and her husband could be made. Pelosi's, they make millions while they take us for a ride. Now we learn they're insider trading on the side. We'd be in the slammer if this were you or me. It's time to prosecute Paul and Nancy Pelosi, ripping us off. A couple of thieves, day trading on the side.
What I do think is Nancy Pelosi should be investigated.
CBM.
Three, two, one.
Mary had a little lamb. His face was white as snow, yeah.
I just kind of like the vibe of this song.
Everywhere the child went.
Rather than searching for a new Mary song every week, I just kind of like this one. Because Mary's pretty cool. Mary Walter, how you doing on this Friday?
I'm feeling cool. It's the bongos.
Yeah, almost as cool as my Led Zeppelin print that I just ordered for the apartment. I knew you'd be excited when I told you that.
You know, I didn't know you were shopping in the middle-aged life. Life crisis.
I've been living
of Amazon.
I've been living. I've been married for since 1998, and with my wife since 1994, and I'm embracing my previously toxic masculinity, and so I'm decorating, making the house look my way. I got a beautiful Led Zeppelin print on canvas for the loft that features Jimmy Page and Robert Plant on stage from The Song Remains the Same. It's actually quite lovely.
Yeah, when is the waterbed being delivered? Does that come with the "I've given up on any kind of female affection again" package?
The waterbed's already in there. I had to have the engineers come and make sure that the apartment floor could hold it, and it takes about 3 days to fill from the faucet.
Yeah, and then you get the unmuffled Harley. That comes with the "I've given up" package. Yeah.
I think women gave up on me before I gave up on them, Mary. To be the truth, I got to tell you honestly, this is just a response, girlfriend. This isn't an offensive shot here. This is purely defensive. This is just reaction.
Oh, it's totally defensive. You were defending yourself against any kind of female-human interaction in that apartment ever.
You know what? I did have kind of a date the other day, and
wait, does she know that?
I don't think she does. She thought we just went for a walk.
Didn't know it was a date.
Anyway.
Yeah, okay. So I was kind of the only one in on the date, and she just didn't know.
No, she had no clue. But no, wonderful person, but very, very, fit and very focused on. She's one of the people who there is food that's absolutely taboo, will not eat certain things, and she said she would never consider eating a slice of pizza. And I went, it's over. I can't, and I could be choosy that way, like I have any other choice. But if you can't eat a slice of pizza. No, that's not going to work. It's not going to work, Mary.
Yeah. Okay, so you're at the age where you might want to relax the standards just a little bit and say, because the dating pool is not deep unless you start to date men and then you double it. But if she won't eat pizza, that's fine. But that just means there's more pizza for you.
That's a good point, actually. That's a
right.
good
So
point.
You can still eat pizza. That doesn't mean she has to. She can enjoy her bowl of gruel or whatever it is.
Okay. All right. That's a good way
while
to put
you
it.
still have pizza.
That's
see?
a good idea.
So you can't just say, boom, that's it.
All right. Well, we'll see.
You're going to be a little flexible. Look at what she's got to put up with: blue disco lights, a disco ball, Robert Plant stuff. She's going to feel like she's back in her prom date's bedroom.
All right, so let's talk here. The judge in the Sean P. Diddy Combs case leaning towards 6 years. Did you read the letter that he wrote to the judge this morning?
No, I was on the air. I did not. Sorry.
Yeah, he wrote, and it really is. It's heartfelt in all of this. But sooner or later, you got to be punished.
Diddy wrote this.
You got to be punished. He says, I lost my way. I got lost in my money, lost in drugs and excess. My downfall was rooted in selfishness. I've been humbled and broken to the core. The old me dialed in jail, and new version of me was reborn. He started teaching in college, or in the joint, teaching kids, people who were there to be businessmen and whatnot. Has had kind of a spiritual rebirth. Written this entire piece, and I was reading it, and honestly, it sounds like he is a man who obviously has taken everything away from him. He's lost the chance to see his family, his kids grow. He's got a lot of kids. But at the same time, you kind of got to be punished for the deeds you do. What are your thoughts on...
But let me ask you, what exactly was he convicted for? Because they threw a lot of stuff out.
A lot of it has to do with trafficking women across state lines. I guess that's part of it.
Okay, so because I know the women that he was accused of raping and this and that said that we weren't forced to do anything. Mm. We chose that. Yeah. And so listen, whatever you do, unless you publicly tell me about it on the radio, in which case, or you post the pictures, is it someone who posts every aspect of their life like you? then yes, we're going to comment. But if that's he chooses to have these freak offs and live that lifestyle, if everybody's consenting, well then The drugs, were the drugs illegal? Maybe.
Yeah.
Trafficking children or women across state lines, I would think is more than 6 years. That's just me. But from what I've read, and I haven't gone too deeply into it, I'll be honest with you.
Neither have I.
Because I'm like, because I'm just like, I'm more interested in the royals at this point, the Harry and his dad thing.
Oh, yes.
But you may lead what we consider a disgusting lifestyle, but that's not criminal.
Yeah. Well, he did some things that were illegal, but I don't know. I saw the letter. I almost had a little bit of sympathy for him. I just kind of wonder. His dad was murdered when he was 3, by the way. I don't know if you knew that. His mother had a stroke. She's 84 years old. She's, dying, I guess, and whatever. I felt a little mercy for him, but, at the same time, you got to be punished for your wrongdoing. Did you hear about the household brand? What kind of coffee do you drink, Mary?
Whatever's on sale.
It says here, coffee giant Maxwell House. I'm not kidding. Are you ready for this? Changing its name temporarily to Maxwell Apartment. I'm not kidding. It sounds like a punchline. In a nod to the 1/3 of Americans who rent their homes rather than purchasing them. They're going to call it Maxwell Apartment. The coffee is the same Maxwell.
This is a joke.
No, it's not. This is actual. This is a real story. They're offering a 12-month lease on its coffee, allowing customers to save a little money while stocking up on a full year supply of coffee. So you can basically it's a coffee subscription for a year. So it's like a lease. I'm not kidding. This is what they're calling it.
See, okay, a lot of thoughts. So clearly sales are sagging, right? Maxwell House is one of those standard brands. They've been around forever, but they're not part of the whole, craft coffee
stuff,
thing, blah 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 blah, right? And I like coffee, but I'm not one of these people who's paying $35 a pound for coffee. That's just not happening in my world, right?
Yes.
That's just not me. But I think if they're trying to get people to buy coffee in advance to try to front load their sales, I get it.
Yeah.
Don't change the name of your product.
No.
This seems to me like the firm that just got fired by Cracker Barrel, the PR firm that redid their image. It sounds like Maxwell House got them at a discount.
Yeah, Profit is the name of the company. Profit, Prophet. Kind of a little irony there. A little prophetic that they would be fired and also cause their profits to go down. See what I just did there? Because I'm super smart that way. I was thinking, if Kamala Harris would have gotten in office, they would have had to come up with Maxwell refrigerator box because you'd be living in it, or Maxwell homeless. And then maybe you should come up with Maxwell psycho roommate. Since you're going to have an apartment, you might be ready for that. I'm just saying.
Rent her box of wine. Yes, and a box of wine. So need a refrigerator, have a box of wine, we'll travel.
There you go. On the other side of the break, I'm going to talk about Gatorade, Cheetos, Mountain Dew getting rid of all their artificial dyes and whatnot. Then I want to get your thoughts on the Pope Leo and Dick Durbin and all. I know you got some thoughts on that because I do too. I'm not happy with this Pope. We're going to get to that on the other side of the break. More with Mary Walter. Don't go anywhere. More with the great Mary Walter in one moment. I was just sitting here watching the price of gold. At the beginning of that commercial stop set, the gold price was $3,909 and some change. At the end of the stop set, it is $3,910.70. That's what gold is doing right now. It's up 42% this year. When are you going to finally listen to me? I'm not meaning to come down on you. I'm not married to you, for crying out loud. You know, that's what my wife used to do to me. But anyway, that enough of my emotional baggage. But when are you going to do? When are you going to text my name, Rob, to 989898 for Birch Gold? Okay. Oh, here we are. Where are we now? All right, $3,910.80 now. While I'm talking here, the price of gold is going up, guys. 73% of world banks are investing in gold, which means it's going to be scarcer and scarcer and scarcer, which means the price is going up and up and up. Last year when I started talking to you about gold, I've been talking to you about Birch Gold for a couple of years. We were $2,500 last year. Now we're pushing $4,000. Here's what you got to do. Just text my name, Rob, to 989898. Rob to 989898. Birch Gold will send you information, no obligation whatsoever. But I've never felt this way about gold. Gold has always been considered the Snuggie of investments. It's like kind of comforting, whatever, but it's red hot right now, and there's no end in sight. So text my name, Rob, to 989898 to Birch Gold. Get the information going, and get in on gold before it's too late. And you can't afford to get in. There you go. Mary Walter. I did go to church for the first time in 4 years. In all seriousness, I did go to the Catholic Church. There's a basilica. It's called a basilica. It's not really like a fancy basilica, high vaulted ceilings. It's a lovely little church up here in Old Town Alexandria. And I felt very close to my faith, closer than I have felt in a very long time. Good. Then things like the Pope being down with Dick Durbin, getting a Lifetime Achievement Award, and then also basically saying that speaking out against anti-immigrant sentiment in the United States, which it isn't, by the way. It's not anti-immigrant, it's anti-illegal, as well as Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's rhetoric about making us strong again. When he starts to show his politics, I mean, he's not Francis, but I'm not happy about this. What do you think about the Pope? You're closer to the faith than I am, my dear. What do you think?
Well, he's a man he's not infallible when it comes to anything outside of the religious world, outside of doctrine. So he can be fallible and can be criticized when he decides to spout off on politics. Yeah. And I don't let a man keep me away from my faith. Okay. So people who say, well, I'm not going to go to church because I don't like the Pope. I'm like, great, he's not there. Yeah. So I'm not quite sure why you would let someone like that come between you and God. Why would you? Well,
there's a lot of things with the Catholic Church that kind of have ticked me off, to be quite honest. One of them is Catholic charities.
So what is that? So what?
Catholic charities, for one thing, trafficking children across the southern border, and then Francis, a rabid socialist, being in charge of the Catholic Church. Sorry, I get a little mad about it.
Of course, but you know what? Listen, I tell you, don't donate to Catholic charities. Stop donating to them. Find a better charity that you like, that more aligns. But again, they're not infallible when it comes to political and social issues. Yeah. And so it's fine to criticize, and it's fine to walk away from them in those situations. My husband and I teach pre-K, and we're one of the couples that does pre-K, and we tell the couples, like, look, you and your spouse are gonna have arguments, but you're gonna learn how to pick your arguments. Number one, and number two, they're not gonna be perfect. You're not perfect. You do things in life that you look back on and go, well, that was dumb, or that was a mistake. I thought I was right, but it was the wrong thing to do. Yeah. So I give the same grace to the Pope or to my priest or whomever. Listen. I go to church here, and my priest and I butt heads all the time. His sermons are way too long, so I time them. And when I come out of Mass, I show him on my phone, 14 minutes, Father, too long. And he gets mad at me, and I do it every week. That's just the way. That's our relationship.
Yeah, that's good.
Nobody pays attention once you get past like 6 minutes. I'm just saying.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. It just becomes blah, blah, blah after that, man. Come on.
But he's a human being.
Yes, I got you.
And he's not infallible. So you don't let human beings come between you and your God. That's it. That's where I am.
Well, there you go. You know what? That's actually a delightful perspective from you. I appreciate that. I really do, actually.
Sure.
I really
do.
do.
I'm glad you're going back, and I'm glad that you enjoyed it and you got something out of it. And don't let man come between you and God.
You know, the thing, Mary, and I'm, we usually joke around a lot, and obviously we have this kind of big sis, little brother.
Why are you the little brother? Why am I the big sister?
Because you're the big sister. You're your big sister correcting me when I'm,
You have this whole little boy. You're going to wind up with a woman who's a dominatrix. This is on. The train is on the tracks.
Ooh, wait a minute. Can I put that in my match profile?
And you're not going to have to pay for it. That's all I'm going to say.
But no, I went to church, and I've been a couple times, and I've also what even more valuable than the actual sitting in the mass is going there and being in the sanctuary by myself. And it has meant so much to me to go in there and meditate. I don't medicate anymore, but it has meant a lot to me. And I think we're in a spiritual rebirth in the country and around the world. And I think it's very positive. I really do. I think it's very positive. So
the question is, can you stay quiet long enough to actually meditate?
It is very hard.
Or does God tell you to shut up?
If God had a problem with me talking, I would have been struck by lightning a long time ago, Mary.
I'll add it to my list of prayers. Hold on.
All right, I got to go. You got to go. Where can people listen to your podcast and find you on social media? Mary Walter.
Podcasts are on Tuesday nights, 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time, live on YouTube, Rumble, and Getter. My guest this week is Barry Morgenstein, the famous photographer. He's the king of headshots, but in a previous life, he got to photograph rock and rollers like
Led Zeppelin.
Hendrix. What?
Like Led Zeppelin. Did he take that picture? Could I get him to sign it?
He very well may have. He's got a coffee table book coming out with all of these pictures of Paul McCartney and Prince and Rolling Stones, Jimi Hendrix, and all of these concerts that he photographed up close and personal.
Wouldn't it be weird?
I'll give you his contact. You should have him on.
Wouldn't it be weird if the print that I ordered is a Barry Morgenstern shot? Because if it is, I want it signed. That's fantastic. Oh, my God, what a great way to end the interview. Mary?
You're going to have to go to your bedroom to sign it? That's kind of creepy.
No, I just say, you want to go see my Led Zeppelin picture? Anyway, let's take a break and come back. Mary, God bless you. Talk to you soon. This is The Rob Carson Show. Do you guys want to see the picture that I ordered? Here, let me find it on the cell phone. It won't look very good. But again, listen, of all the things that I could have a print of, and I know you're thinking, oh, yeah, like a velvet poster. What's meaningful in my life? What is meaningful in my life? One of the most meaningful things in my life is music. And this is a great, great picture. Can you see that? Isn't that something else? Isn't that cool? That's my picture. And I just wanted to show that to you. Yeah. And I didn't get the giant one. It's not sofa-sized. But Led Zeppelin music, it means a lot to me. It was the first music that I listened to as a little kid. And I just think it's important. Music is important to me. And it's not like a black velvet poster with a black light, although there's an idea. But no, I wanted something kind of cool for the upstairs. I just wanted something for the upstairs. What'd you think? I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. Pranay, what'd you think? Pranay, Uber Chat on Facebook. What'd you think of that? I think it's kind of cool. What about you guys on the Rumbly Roo? What do you think of my Led Zeppelin print? I've got a bunch of, I got some new art. I got a really cool picture of the Milky Way galaxy. And it's 6 feet across by about 18 inches, and it's the Milky Way at night. And that's another thing. I wanted something meaningful because this is where we are. We're this little tiny speck of dust. Little kind of speck of dust right there. And I wanted something that would involve wanderlust. Wanderlust is what it is. So, I'm kind of enjoying decorating my own little place. I got my own little place. And when I was away the last time, I was eager to get home. I called it home. It's the first time that I've been home in a while. So it was kind of nice. Kind of nice. How much time we got left, Brian? Probably don't have much time here at the top of the hour. 3 minutes. Okay. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, here we go. Did you? One of the hottest clips of the week is Josh Hawley shredding Gregory Jackson. He was a gun control violence prevention department or gun violence prevention department under Biden, and he spewed a bunch of nonsense from this report that he did.
Progressive approach is defunding the police, which is what this said.
All of this crap that he's this nonsense about Two-Spirit and stuff is gone, is dead. It's already toast.
The entire time. This is so typical of what the Democrats do now. After your policies have transparently failed and led to the deaths of millions of Americans, now you say you've never heard of defunding the police. Your own report recommends it on page after page after page. Let me ask about something else you say.
What?
Here's what you say we ought to invest in.
Listen.
Instead of funding the police, here's what we ought to invest in.
What?
We need to invest in programs that acknowledge the need for safe space initiatives led by lesbian, gay, bisexual, two-spirit, trans, and gender nonconforming people. What's two-spirit?
Well, look, I don't know exactly. You got
vodka and gin.
As a pull in some interesting quotes.
This is from your report.
If you look at the report, the focus is on investing in violence intervention, outreach workers.
What is you say?
That's all faculty lounge gobbledygook, by the way.
Say that you shouldn't invest in the police, but we ought to invest in two-spirit community programs that acknowledge two-spirit.
Look, we are not going to discriminate.
What is that?
We're not going to discriminate against any nonprofit that
what
wants
is
to
a
help
two-spirit?
us prevent violence.
What is two-spirit? You say don't fund the police, but do fund programs that create safe spaces for two-spirit people.
Yeah, what's that?
What is? I just want to know. I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that is.
Well, I honestly, I'm not completely aware of the language or the
You wrote
spirit
the
of how that was
report?
written. But what I'm telling you is that what is
a two-spirit individual? I mean, really.
Wait, he tries to drop a bomb on Hawley, and Hawley has his ass rear end for lunch.
So this is your policymaker's playbook.
Here it is.
You are the witness called by the Democrats on this committee, so I assume you reflect their views. Well, you don't want to fund the police. You want to fund safe spaces for two-spirit individuals. What is a two-spirit person?
I feel like I'm looking at a two-faced individual because you talk about reducing violence.
Oh, no, sir. You're looking at somebody who's reading you your own words, and I'd like to hear an answer.
Oh, I love this. I love this. All of this nonsense that the Democrat Party has tried to force feed us that has been bull crap for years is finally being confronted. That man is an embarrassment. He made an embarrassment of himself when he was working for the Biden administration, and now he's really embarrassing. Oh, my goodness. We've got another hour of the show. Venezuela is in some serious hot agua. That is coming up, and you guys as well. The last hour of the Rob Carson Show is right ahead on a Friday. Do not go anywhere.
Hold it now.
You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
And by the grace of God, it is finally Friday. Welcome to it. We've got much to get to this hour of the radio show. Fred Fleitz joins us at the bottom of the hour. That's going to be fun. I'm going to Rehoboth this weekend for a big event. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's called Wings and Wheels, and I've been very excited today because I'm excited to meet everybody. I wish I could meet all of you. I wish I could go to all of the places where you listen. I wish I could go to all of my affiliate stations and whatnot. And it just means so much for me to be out and about. And I'm going to this Wings and Wheels event, Fall Festival near Rehoboth. There's an airport there, and I'm going to be there broadcasting live from 10 to noon. The World War II reenactors there, and classic cars, and food trucks, and bombers, and jets, and single-engine fighters, and biplanes. Oh my God in heaven! Not like biplanes, like like transgender planes, but they got two wings, is what they are. And I'm really looking forward to going to this event with my great radio affiliate, WGMD Radio. And so I'll just post it right now on my social media. If you're in the Rehoboth area, Delmarva area, come by and see me as I broadcast live. But I'm very excited about meeting you guys. It means a lot. Like I said, I'd like to go to a lot of our affiliates, and maybe I will. Sometimes it's a little tough to do, but no, it's not two Spirit planes; they're biplanes. I flew in a what they're called a Stearman biplane, and they're the ones like you've seen. And what they used in World War II, they used them as training planes. And a few years ago, Red Baron Pizza had a squadron of these planes, and you could fly in them. And this Stearman biplane is this old plane, but you've never flown in a craft that's felt so solid. I mean, when you're in a jet, okay, you're in a 787, and the wings kind of have a little give on them, and whatnot. Not in a Stearman biplane. They are just rock solid. And one of the weirdest things you could ever imagine is being in the seat, like Indiana Jones. I hate snakes. That's kind of what the plane was like. Is when you turn the plane upside down and you are strapped in. They put a parachute on you, okay? In the Stearman Bible, they put a parachute on you. They say, just in case. Here's how we do it. And he turned the plane upside down, and you suddenly have all of your weight on the shoulder straps looking down at the earth. It's one of the weirdest dang things ever. It's crazy. I've been very fortunate. I've been able to fly in a Thunderbird aircraft that got a little vomity. And a hot air balloon, and the Stearman biplane was something else, man. It was something else. Gatorade, Cheetos, and Mountain Dew face a makeover as PepsiCo ditches artificial dyes. This is a really good thing, actually. A few months ago, about a year ago, I went and had my cholesterol checked. It was 235. I said, I got to do something about this. So I got rid of all of the bull crap in my cabinets, all of the red dyes, and all of the, no more Gatorade, no more. I haven't had a Diet Coke in 4 months. 4 months of Diet Coke. No Diet Coke. Crazy. And then I lost weight immediately. The cholesterol dropped by 65 points in 90 days. Crazy. But there are a lot of these dyes that are not good for you. They're artificial dyes. They're actually byproducts of even like coal burning. They have these byproducts. They put it in Gatorade, Cheetos, Mountain Dew. They are reformulating products that have relied on synthetic dyes. And I think it's going to be some of the first products will be Tostitos and Lay's. Reformulated tortilla and potato chips are expected to hit shelves later this year. And I've been also staying away from seed oils, all these seed oils that are bad. I got some of these chips. Glenn Beck was talking about them. Tucker Carlson was talking about these chips. And they're beef tallow tortilla chips. And they're so good. They are so good. Oh, my God. Tostitos Salsa Verde has used yellow 5, yellow 6, and red 40, and blue 1. Just for Toyota Salsa Verde, the green Salsa Verde, all of that. Then all of a sudden you got your Mountain Dew. Have you ever that Baja Blast? Do you even know what that is? What the hell is Baja Blast made of? Nothing should be that color. No. So I'm glad to see that this is being ushered in by RFK Jr., because it's going to make us a lot healthier. Chelsea Clinton, like nobody gives a rat's behind about, because she's never done anything in her life. She is being brutally mocked for a podcast aimed at the Maha movement. Are you ready for this? This coming from the daughter of Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, all right? The podcast is called This Can't Be True. Seeks to debunk policies being championed by the Department of Human Health and Human Services, RFK Jr. This can't be true. And she's calling herself a doctor. She's got a doctorate in, I don't know, foreign relations. I don't even know what the hell it is. But she said this is what the podcast is. Navigate this chaotic time with public health expert Dr. Chelsea Clinton. Her doctor is like in public policy, who every week talks to doctors, dietitians, parenting experts, and more to expose pseudoscience and helps to sort fact from fiction. Dear God, her parents are the biggest liars in the world. Oh, my God. I mean, it's going to tank. It's going to tank. Who the hell needs that? I don't need that. This is kind of cool. Venezuela's in a whole lot of hot agua. Now, a few things going on. Few things that I think kind of foretold and felt like was going to happen last year. And if you listen to the show, you've heard me say that I believe that the people of Persia will be free. I've also said that the people of Venezuela, we're going to see the fall of Maduro after Chavez. Maduro stole an election. 70% of the vote was for the opposition candidate. Stole the dang election. And same way with Bolsonaro in Brazil. And aided by U.S. aid money, by the way. It was the same thing they tried to do with Donald Trump. But Donald Trump survived, you see. But Donald Trump has officially declared war on the drug cartels. This is just as gigantic. So we're going to see freedom spread through all the hemispheres of the globe. I told you. Freedom. There's a God movement happening worldwide. It is not happening because of Donald Trump, but Donald Trump definitely is leading the way. Because they threw everything at him. Evil threw everything at him, and he survived. He's the only man who could have survived it. I'm not making him some sort of deity, but they did. They did everything. So many have fallen. Bolsonaro is in prison. You got Maduro in power. So many have fallen. Donald Trump, they threw everything. They tried to put him in jail. They tried to take him off the ballot. They tried to take his fortune, and then they tried to murder him twice. And they failed. That's why they're gnashing their teeth. That's why they're going so insane, because they really can't believe he survived it, because they see in him their doom. The Democrat Party, they're disintegrating right before us. It's glorious. The Trump administration determined the United States is a non-international armed conflict with those designated terrorist organizations, and they have been sent notice. The president directed the Department of War to conduct operations against them pursuant to the law of armed conflict. The United States has now reached a critical point where we must use force in self-defense and defense of others against the ongoing attacks by these designated terrorist organizations. 3 military strikes against drug boats have claimed the lives of 17 terrorists. And it's pretty amazing. Venezuela says it's detected 5 U.S. combat planes flying 75 kilometers from its coast. Venezuela detected 5 fighter planes, according to Defense Minister, listen to this, you ready? Vladimir Padrino. So you got Russian communist name, Hispanic, Central American name, described the incident, South American, described the incident as a provocation by the United States that posed a threat to national security. There are combat aircraft that U.S. imperialism has dared to approach the Venezuelan coast. The Venezuelan people have been suffering for a very long time. A couple of years ago when I lived in D.C., the number one restaurant in Caracas was the zoo. Not kidding. People were having to hunt zoo animals because they were so hungry. It is ridiculous. Steve Ducey was asked about the drug boats yesterday that Donald Trump is bombing.
Yes, and John, those criticisms come from Democratic lawmakers who say they are concerned that these cartel members, cartel drug boat captains, are not getting due process before a bomb drops.
Oh, they're getting what's due
on their
What are
head.
You talking about?
President Trump and his team do not seem moved one bit by that, and so they drafted this memo.
Because they poisoned so many of our kids, you say.
It's official to Congress. Part of it says, based upon the cumulative effects of these hostile acts against...
Murdered lots of people, slaughtered them, cut their hearts out while they were still beating. Not kidding.
...the citizens and interests of the United States and friendly foreign nations. The president is determined that the United States is in a non-international armed conflict with these designated terrorist organizations. The president directed the Department of War to conduct operations against them pursuant to the law of armed conflict.
There you go. And finally, evil that is run roughshod around the world is being taken down. This is Jim Gossett with The Drug Boat on the Rob Carson Show.
Drugs transported by boat.
Say, is that Isaac the bartender over there?
Venezuela.
There's Doc. Hi, Doc.
You best take note.
Kind of a scary doctor if your wife...
Cartels. They're having fits.
Boom!
'Cause they're men. They were blown to bits.
It's raining men.
The drug boat. It now resides on the ocean floor. The drug boat. Marco says we're gonna take out more. Yes, their lives are in danger if they take another chance.
Yeah, go ahead and try to haul some drugs there. Go ahead.
'Cause drugs we won't tolerate.
Nope, not gonna take it anymore.
Shut it down before it's too late. No drugs. A boat that was filled with drugs.
There you go. That is Jim Gossett. Dookie Bear just wrote me on Rumble on the chat. Oh, Rob, you're killing me, Smalls. If you want to help out Jim Gossett, go to patreon.com. Patreon.com. I mean this. Go there today. Patreon.com/Jim Gossett Comedy. Give him $10 a month. He will send you 2 parodies a day. He's a friggin' genius. Better than anything I did for Rush. Honestly, he is better than anything I did for Rush, and it's right here on this radio program. Patreon.com/Jim Gossett Comedy. More on Zoran Mandami on the other side of the break. This is The Rob Carson Show.
He's slowing the spread of the stupid every day. It's the Rob Carson Show.
It is the Rob Carson Show, Little Alice in Chains. I'll be listening to that on the way to Delaware in Buck the Bronco. By the way, if you would have bought gold yesterday, you'd paid $40 less an ounce. Since yesterday's close, it's gone up $40. Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, gold is on a run, guys. Listen, Birch Gold, call them, or text them, I should say. Text them today if you get a chance to. The number is 989898. Just text my name, Rob, to 989898. There you go. Up $40 since yesterday's close. It's at $3,908.20 right now. I mean, really. You've got World Bank's investing in gold. 73% of central banks looking to massively increase their gold holdings over the next 5 years. A couple years ago, gold was $1,100. It used to be a kind of a non-factor. It's get some gold, whatever. It's really started growing. I mean, it's been growing really since the turn of the century, this century. But it's in lightning speed right now. 73% of central banks looking, and $40 since yesterday. I'm watching the gold price right now. It's just like, wow. Crazy. Just text my name, Rob, to 989898 for Birch Gold. If you got an IRA or 401k, is it performing at $40 in a day? I mean, it's a different thing, obviously, ounces versus whatever. But since the beginning of the year, you ready? Hold on, I got it right here. It's at 40% this year. Up 40%. Has your IRA or 401k gone up 40% in 10 months? Yeah. Birch Gold. Information available. Just text my name, Rob, to 989898. Take advantage of the situation while you can afford it. Do it. Birch Gold, if you would. So Zoran Mandami is a typical communist. He says what he needs to say. He says it with a fake smile. It's been done before. Here he is on The View, and, of course, The View gobbling up his pablum like hungry little birds.
Let's quickly tick through all the things that Trump said about you, and let's get that out of the way, all right? Number one, he's attacking you as a communist. Are you?
No, I'm a democratic socialist. That means I believe in dignity for all people.
Okay, I believe in dignity of all people, and that was enough for them. Well, all of us do. But I would venture to say, if you look at the history of the Communist Party, not so much, because generally it results when communists take over in millions and millions of people in body pits. That's generally the way it was. That's the way it was with Fidel Castro, by the way. There are like 100 and... I think the last time I heard it was like 160 political prisoners in Cuba. Cuba has been a hellhole for decades.
While socialist revolutionaries came to power by focusing on real problems of poverty and corruption, they often hid their goal of completely taking over the economy.
Yeah.
Here's Fidel Castro on Meet the Press right after his 1959 revolution.
I am not communism. I am not agree with communism.
That was a lie. In short order, Castro wiped out all opposition, socialized the entire economy, and forced Cuba's once vigorous business community to escape en masse to Miami.
He did effectuate equality. He effectuated equality of misery, equality of repression, equality of poverty.
Yeah, and this is why Zoran Mandami says he would phase out New York City's gifted program for early grades. They want kids to be uniformly stupid. They do. This is the Communist Party. This is what they do. Getting rid of all of the possibilities for kids, young kids who want to be excellent, getting rid of gifted programs because they say it would impact, because they, says here, it'll worsen racial segregation, creating exclusive classrooms occupied by white and Asian students. Well, here's the deal. You got to up your game. This isn't the white and Asian students' fault. This is the inner city school's fault. But this is what your Communist Party does. This is David Asman and on Zoran Mandami. He's a commentator on Fox, and he did that documentary about Castro.
Yeah. Well, the fact is that not only Fidel Castro did this, the Sandinistas did it in Nicaragua. Hugo Chavez did it in Venezuela. Yep. I've interviewed all these people when I covered Latin America, and they all say the same thing. We're not communists. We're friends with the United States. We believe.
And you combine it with radical Islam, and radical Islam justifies lying about everything.
In the redistribution of wealth, but we're not interested in taking over all the means of production. And once they get in power, they do it. Now, luckily, Mamdani is, as mayor of New York, if he becomes mayor, will not have the power to take over.
But he's already said he wants to take over the means of production and make all housing public. Here is Victor Davis Hanson. He's my sensei.
Mamdani didn't say this as a young person. He said it just 4 years ago. And he used this term, seize the means of production. That's a direct English translation of a German catchphrase by Friedrich Engels. And the funny thing about it was he didn't just say that. If you look at what he said was, you got to be very slow and get people acculturated. Yes. But just because you're moving them toward that direction doesn't mean your ultimate goal is not to seize the means of production.
Yes.
So David made a good point that he's on the spectrum and he wants to get to that point, and he's going to see how far he can go each month when he's in office. But that's his ultimate aim.
Of course it is.
And he used the catchphrase for the last century of Marxism. He didn't have to use that term, but he wanted to.
He's a very dangerous man, and he's got a very slick smile, and he's got a lot of ignorant people like the cast of The View who gobble it up, just like so many unintelligent, I should say, brainwashed people who have done it in the past when Marxists and communists have ascended to power, and it just ends up in poverty and death. And that's what Zohran Mamdani wants to do in New York City. He's going to wreck the economy. That's all there is to it. There's no doubt about that. Fred Fleitz joins us next to talk about Hamas, maybe their last days on the planet. Stick around.
680 WCBM.
It is a Friday edition of the Rob Carson Show. There are a lot of balls in the air today. Donald Trump has offered a bold peace plan for the Middle East. It sounds like most of the Middle East is down with it, except for Hamas, and Hamas has been given a deadline. Fred Fleitz joins us on the Newsmax hotline on this Friday. I can think of no one better to address this issue than Mr. Fleitz. How are you doing, sir?
Good to be here. Hey, Rob.
I got to tell you, bud, we had this Middle Eastern peace plan, and I said last year I believed that we would see the people of Persia be free, and I believe there will be peace in the Middle East. And it looks like now that Dad is home, Donald Trump is there, the ball is rolling. He offered a 21-point plan for peace with Israel and and Hamas in Gaza, and it sounds like he's given Hamas until Sunday night to make up their mind whether they're cool with it. Otherwise, he's going to unleash hell on them.
That's exactly right, and this is the result of a president who just wouldn't give up. Yeah. After plan failed, his team kept pushing hard, but why this plan is different is that all the Arabs are behind it and the Palestinian Authority, which never backs peace plans. It's just Hamas is holding out. That means when Hamas comes out against this plan, and it looks like they're going to, they have no one to go to. No one's going to stand with them. They're all saying to Hamas, look, we're moving forward with this with you or without you. It's time to settle.
You know, Fred, I mean, this is really real here. This is happening. What we're witnessing here is something extraordinary. We had the Abraham Accords that Donald Trump was able to secure in the first term. Then he goes to Qatar. Then he goes to, where else did he go? Wasn't Saudi.
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi. And he got trillions of dollars in investment from them. He's broadcasting strength to the entire Middle East. Hamas is back on its heels in Gaza. Benjamin Netanyahu just waiting for the thumbs up. Now Trump is saying you got till Sunday night. Now, you may have noticed earlier this week, there was a story about U.S. tankers for refueling aircraft were headed across the Atlantic towards Great Britain. The last time that happened, we bombed the snot out of the Iranian nuke facilities. So something's happening here, my friend.
I think that's right. But why this plan worked is because everyone had to make concessions. There's language in here where the Palestinian Authority will play a role in governing Gaza when it de-radicalizes, that there will be a Palestinian state after the Palestinians de-radicalize. Those are very painful things for the Israelis to talk about, and I think you and I know they'll probably never happen because the Palestinians will never de-radicalize. But those distant aspirations is all that was needed to get the Saudis on board and maybe to sign on to a new Abraham Accord. It was a brilliant way of doing it.
I just can't believe it's happening. I mean, I've been around a while. You've been around a while. We've seen this nonsense in the Middle East. Everything from terrorism, which has been going on for 50 years, to not so much anymore. But it used to be the Middle East would hold the world hostage for oil. That is not such a big deal anymore. But this is amazing stuff. This is remarkable stuff. What do you suppose happens if the Sunday night deadline passes and Hamas is not to come to the table? What is it going to be? Us leading the way? Is it going to be Israel leading the way? What do you suppose is going to happen?
I think Israel will accelerate its campaign to take over the last remaining hideouts of Hamas in Gaza City. But also, the way this plan is structured is that areas of Gaza that have been cleared of terrorists and Hamas will be turned over to this international force, and they will start rebuilding infrastructure. So we're going to move forward with fixing Gaza and rebuilding and establishing a new free Gaza, whether Hamas likes it or not.
I was reading this piece yesterday about Iraq, and there is a place, I don't have it in front of me, but there is a place that had been war-torn forever, and it's actually a vibrant community where there's peace, that Christianity is being practiced again. That's kind of nice to hear. We haven't heard much from Iraq, lately. The last I heard, the Ayatollah was, his hold on power was tenuous at best. I was hoping that, and I know we're not into the regime change thing. I've heard this time and time again. We are not into regime change, but there are things that we can do to help precipitate it, like American money did with U.S. aid to keep people in power who shouldn't stay in power. But it sounds like, some things are happening here, and then also Venezuela. Have you been following Venezuela? Because Donald Trump has basically declared war on the cartels. They've got planes flying within 40 miles of the coast and a $50 million bounty on Maduro. So it sounds like something big is happening down there, too.
I think that's right. I think you meant Iran, not Iraq.
No, I'm talking about Iraq. In Iraq, there are several cities that were war-torn that are clean. But as far as Iran is concerned, we're waiting for the Ayatollah to fall.
Yes, and I'm not optimistic there's going to be a big change once he dies, and he's very ill because I think he's set up successors who are as radical as he is. But we know in Iran it's a very young population who hate the oppression. They know what's going on outside of their country. This corrupt, extreme theocracy in Iran will not last forever. I think it will fall in our lifetime. I don't think it's around the corner. And Trump's going to put so much economic pressure on Iran. They don't stop their nuclear program, and they're not going to.
I think it's going to happen before Trump leaves office. Because if it's going to happen, it's going to happen before Trump leaves office. I'm just going to tell you.
Well, I hope so, and I think the pressure will be severe.
Yeah.
But, you just can't discount the willingness of these autocracies and dictatorships to basically suppress and kill their people to stay in power, and that's what's going on in Iran.
You had mentioned earlier to me that you were concerned about reports the U.S. could give Ukraine Tomahawk missiles. Clearly, Vladimir Putin has really ticked off Donald Trump, and he's saying things like this could be settled with Ukraine getting all of its land back. That's like Ronald Reagan, saying that we begin the bombing in 5 minutes. That's like poking. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I think Trump was really trying to needle Putin by saying that Ukraine can get back all of its land, including Ukraine, which that's not something the Russians want to hear. And apparently the Ukrainians from Tomahawk missiles, some part of Ukraine.
Okay, your phone is cracking up. Fred, your phone is cracking up. I can't hear you.
Oh.
Try it again. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Apparently, informed Tomahawks, some people in the U.S. support that. This would be a huge escalation that would allow Ukraine to destroy facilities, maybe even the Kremlin, Moscow.
Yeah.
It would be a huge escalation, and it makes you wonder, when do we cross the line between supporting Ukraine and actually going to war with Russia? I don't want us to go to war with Russia, and I think that's what this would constitute.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm going to agree with you on that. But we'll see. We'll see on the Ayatollah. We'll see on what's happening in Venezuela. Fred, I appreciate your time on this glorious Friday. Where can people find all of your work, sir?
If you go to AmericaFirstPolicy.com, most of my articles are posted there, or check me out at Twitter at Fleitz.
All right, Fred, have a good weekend. We'll talk again soon. Let's take a break. This is The Rob Carson Show.
Texting enrolls you into...
Yeah, that was Naked Gun with the...
Oh, Naked Gun.
With the Osmonds.
Yes. Okay. Trying to remember what that was. It is the Rob Carson Show. I was just trying to do a drop there, but I didn't want to work, actually. Anyway, it is the Rob Carson Show on a Friday, and we've got a few things we need to get to before the end of the radio program, including, let's see, I'm going to double check if this is going to play, because sometimes my computer is weird. There we go. Okay, there we go. So what I was trying to play earlier was, January the 6th, I said January the 7th. It was a Reichstag moment. It was clearly a setup.
Certain dates echo throughout history. December 7th, 1941. September 11th, 2001.
Yeah.
And January 6th, 2021.
Similar to Pearl Harbor and 9/11.
We can now add January 6th, 2021 to that very short list of dates in American history that will live forever in infamy.
Yeah, it was absolute bullcrap. It was absolute bullcrap. People went to jail for a very long time, and people are going to have to be held accountable for what they did to them. We had a political prison. I told you we have a bourgeois, a proletariat, and we had a Bastille as well. Here's Stephen A. Smith. He's a liberal on.
The news comes amidst a bombshell report from the Justice Department that revealed the FBI had at least 26 confidential informants on the ground when the Capitol was stormed.
They had 250.
January 6, 2021.
Yeah.
The report says most of the informants engaged in illegal activity during the chaos.
Yeah. Even he agreed that January the 6th was bullcrap. I said the day after that it clearly was a setup because the media was saying there was $150 million in damage inside the building and all that. There was no smoke coming out of the windows. Nothing was damaged in the building. And the windows that were broken by people who were planted in the crowd. Kash Patel is the FBI director. People are going to pay for what they did. I have a friend named Jake Lang. I corresponded with Jake Lang when he was in prison. He was in prison, a young man. He was in prison for 4 years. 4 years, transferred a dozen times. Every time he'd start to get his defense together, they would move him to another prison. He'd lose all of his material, all of his defense material and everything. They did this to countless individuals. Enrique Tarrio wasn't even in Washington, D.C. He spent years in prison. I met all of the January the 6ers at CPAC this year, and I watched them sing the national anthem. People are going to pay for this. And I am sick and damn tired of being censored about it. It was always bullcrap. Here is Kash Patel being that sounded weird, being interviewed about Nancy Pelosi's role in this. And yes, she was in it thick as thieves because she denied the National Guard.
I'm in a unique position. Remember, I was chief of staff for the Department of Defense on January 6th. We were responsible for the deployment of the National Guard. And what I was forced to testify to years ago at great personal cost has now once again, just like Russiagate, been proven true. Yeah. Because all I do is speak the truth.
Yeah.
On January, actually in the days before January 6th, we were in the Oval Office where the President Trump at the time, authorized, pursuant to law, up to 10 to 20,000 National Guard. We took that authorization because the law's second part required a request from who? Nancy Pelosi and the Metropolitan Police.
Yeah.
And the mayor at the time. And what did they say? No. And remember what happened for the next 2 years?
What's
they
that?
say, Kash is lying, Trump's lying.
Yeah.
And what do we find? Letters of their declination of the National Guard.
Yeah.
Refusing to have the National Guard show up. So all I can speak to is the facts, and the facts are those plus this. Nancy Pelosi and her team were busy filming a movie on January 6th while this so-called chaos around her was going down. If she had, just look at it this way, if she had said yes to the National Guard and we had 10,000 uniformed military officers established a secure perimeter, do you think January 6th would have gone differently?
Yeah, and you know what? It wouldn't happen either if the people who had assembled there peacefully had not been fired upon. Had not had flashbang grenades and rubber bullets fired at them. And then people going up and breaking out the windows, and then people inviting them in to walk around peacefully, and those people went to jail for walking in open doors. They ruined people's lives. They surveilled people. They went after them in their homes. They went after them with armed raids. It is filthy, rotten, corrupt, Stalinistic, and I want to see people in jail. I've been saying now for 5 years that the people in those cells need to be replaced by the people who put them there. Here's more from Kash Patel.
This is a great example of the president's initiative to solve all the answers on January 6th. And it's another example of our transparency efforts. Pursuant to the president, we investigated the matter and found out why FBI agents were placed there in the first place. And it turns out we found documentation and witnesses and whistleblowers that said we were forced to go there.
Oh, really?
To do riot control. Armstrong, do you know what the FBI does not do ever? Riot control. We don't do that. So the prior leadership sent 250 some odd men and women into a situation they're not trained for, put them in harm's way, put the individuals out there in harm's way. And also, those individuals have collectively responded or said beforehand that they were forced to go there. They didn't volunteer to do that.
And you believe them?
That's their word.
Yeah, and how arrogant the media was because the left and the Democrats had their back so they could just shout us down for trying to say the truth. They could call what we believed disinformation and misinformation. They could lie and cover up the truth and the injustice.
September 11th, 2001, and January 6th, 2021.
Newsflash, nobody gives a f*** about it. We all admit that shit was pretty dumb, but that's about it. When we saw the news, we were shocked and we were kind of tense. Like, damn. Then we forgot about it by the 10th. Nobody's walking around stressing over Jan 6. It happened and that was it. We haven't gave a damn since. It's all good when riots are kept in the hood, but now you're freaking out because this was in the neck of your woods. Now it's a big deal. Now it gets real. Now it's important to us. Not back then in 2020 when stores were boarded up. Not back then when goods were looted and folks were brutalized. Not then, but right now, because it happened to the suit and ties. That shit's way above my head. We were all year with demonstrations that left dozens dead. But people like Nancy didn't flinch. In fact, they loved it then. People will do what they do. Ain't that what you said? There's literally compilation videos.
This song came out
this kind of
5 years ago, and I started playing it then. It's a brilliant piece of production, actually, and writing.
It's fine when you encourage it.
Sooner or later, people are going to be held accountable for this, and every day we're going to see this because the bleep storm is happening. It's starting with Jim Comey. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Yeah. There was nothing more frustrating. I couldn't believe that we lived in America starting in 2020 when we couldn't say anything. We couldn't have an opinion on COVID. We couldn't have an opinion. Doctors couldn't be told that they could treat COVID on their own. They couldn't treat it on their own. They lied about everything. They lied about where COVID came from. They lied about the need for masks. They lied about January the 6th. They lied about the election of 2020. They lied about Hunter Biden's laptop. They lied about everything. They lied about Joe Biden's mental state. There were movies that came out after the election of 2020. What was it? 10,000. What was it? How many mules? 2,000 mules. Documented people dropping all sorts of ballots in ballot boxes overnight. The battleground states, all the ballot counting stopped at the same time on election night, and then the next day, you couldn't say a thing about the election because there was no election fraud at all, ever. I want people to rot in jail for the rest of their bloody friggin' lives. I really do. I hate to say that, but that's just the way it is. I want people to go to jail forever. What they did to us is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. Oh, yeah, here we go. Well done.
The player closest to the pin wins the grand prize. A private round of golf with me and 3 guests, including green fees and cart. Tickets are just $40. All you have to do is get yours today at WCBM.com, and I'll see you out on the green at Turf Valley Resort.
The inaugural Kim Classic Putting Social is brought to you by Platinum Law Group and RBC Wealth Management, featuring Tim Herb's Morning Market Flash.
I'm at 310 here.
Okay. Here's something we haven't done in a while. As we play the Cult Love Removal Machine. Boom, there it is. That's a timeless song from about 1988, by the way. So we haven't done a Who Caught the Stupid update.
Stupid, people.
Just plain stupid.
Stupid as stupid does, Miss Blue. Who caught the stupid?
So Gavin Newsom, yeah, I said it. He proposed $20 minimum wage throughout California. That nuked 20,000 fast food jobs. Who would have known that? Yeah, 20,000 jobs. Washington Examiner reported the employment policies found 20,000 fast food jobs lost. It's a quarter of all fast food job losses nationwide. Pizza Hut franchises laid off 1,200 delivery drivers to cut costs, price people out of jobs. Yeah. Unlike their multinational competitors, small businesses have a tougher time absorbing increased costs, leading to further consolidation of the capital in the hands of the largest corporations. Small businesses went out of business. Restaurant workers lost 250 hours annually, or $4,000 in wage. Newsom promised living wages, but ended up with fewer hours and less income. That's the way it works, generally, when you do stupid stuff like Gavin Newsom did. There you go.
Stupid, people.
Just plain stupid.
Stupid as stupid does, Miss Blue. Who got stupid?
Here's another stupid
You're too
person.
stupid to have a good time.
When you're wondering about not Nickelodeon, but Netflix having these trans shows on for kids, you know what happens when that happens? People like this happen.
I am trigender, which means like a triangle, I have 3 genders.
No, you don't.
Male, female, and non-binary.
No, you
and
don't.
The difference between
you're just nuts.
Trigender and gender fluid is that I feel all 3 of these genders at the
you're insane.
same time. All the time.
Yeah.
It doesn't ever shift or
you need mental health.
Or change, or where I feel one gender more strongly than the other, like gender fluid tends to be. Also, I should...
Okay, if you just played this like 10 years ago and you had a young person, they'd say, you get that poor young woman some help.
Should recognize and accept that a lot of people don't see non-binary as a third gender.
Yeah, because it's bullcrap.
It as something completely separate from the binary of male and female. But for me, it's like a third gender.
Yeah,
or I guess you could call it a third identity.
Yeah, it's insane. You are insane. And it's really sad that our country devolved into this as part of all of the nonsense we've been the last few years. And we're finally returning to common sense from nonsense. Common sense from nonsense. I'm going to be out this weekend, Georgetown, Delaware, at the airport for Wings and Wheels, 10 tomorrow until 2, broadcasting. Stop by and say hi, will ya? I'm looking forward to meeting you. And hopefully as this year progresses and ends and next year begins, I will make it out to other areas of the country, including our glorious affiliates around the country. From the bottom of my heart, I mean this. God bless you. God bless America. Has founded Donald Trump. Watch my TV show Sunday night on Newsmax, by the way. And until Monday, do not catch the stupid. I'll see you then.
Hi, Rob. I'm off next week. I'll see you for that.
Best of
information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.